Hi everyone and welcome to today's tutorial. In this video, I will be diving into one of the Java most powerful feature, reflection. You may have heard of it, but today we are going to fully understand what it is, how it works, and going through examples that will make you comfortable using it in our Java application. So let's get started. So first question is, what is reflection? In Java, reflection is a feature that allows us to inspect and manipulate the runtime behavior of our code. It allows us to analyze and modify classes, method, fields, and constructor even at the runtime. This is useful in various scenarios, especially when working with frameworks, library, and tools like Spring or Hibernate. However, reflection comes with its pros and cons, such as flexibility at the cost of performance overhead. So we need to use it wisely. Now let's see how we can access class information. So first step in working with the reflection is accessing class information at runtime. So look at this example. We have a class called person, and in this class we have few fields, name and age, which is private field, and then one constructor and one method. So now using reflection we can get the information about this class. So let's write some code for that. Here we have reflection example class, and in this main method we will write code. So let's see. We'll start with class.forName, and this class.forName, here we have to pass class name. So I'll say we have class name is person, and then it will throw some exception. We can add it here. And what is the return type? So we can say return type is class itself. We can use here class not found, class, and then person class. So we have just created here person class, and in this person class we can print the name of the class. So I'll say sysout class name, and then we can use person class dot get name. So if I will run now, it should return the class name, which is here it's saying class not. So here I should write com.test.person. Let's check. Right. So now we can see that whenever we are writing, we have to write fully qualified name, and then it will work. So for example, here if you have added your class inside package, you should use com.test and then .person, and then you will get class name from here. Now I want to print all the fields which is available in this particular class. So what I can say, arrays dot stream, and in this stream we can say person class dot get declared fields, and then we can perform here dot for each, and then I'll say field, and we will try to print the fields. So let's say sysout, and I'll say field dot get name. So field name will be printed from here. So if you see, we have used person dot get declared method. It will list out all the methods which is all the fields which is available in this particular class. So in this class we have two variables declared, name and age. So that thing you can get through get declared method, right? So it will print all the declared field, private as well as public. It will print name of that field. So I'll say print all declared fields. So I'll write here private and public. This both it will return here. Then if you want to print all the methods which is available, that also you can do, print all the methods, right? So for that also I'll do the same thing. I'll just copy and paste here. Get declared, instead of get declared fields, we will use get declared methods. And then we can just rename it. So I'll say method and then method dot get name. So it should print all the methods that is available. So we have here only one method which is say hello, and this method we can see it's printing now. So this is another thing that you can do through that. Now let's access the fields value, right? So access private, method and fields. So reflection also allows us to access private fields, right? As in Java we know that we can't access private fields outside the class, but using reflection you can do that. This is most powerful aspect of reflection, but it should be used cautiously. Let's modify the code and we'll demonstrate how we can access private fields from the person class. So here I'll just add next is accessing private fields. So let's do here. So we can say field, we can use reflection field method, a class field, and then I'll say name field. Name field equal to person class dot get declared field, and here we have to pass the name of the field. So I'll say I want to print the name, right? So here we have name field. So I'll say name, and then I'll say okay, it's saying throw declaration, so we can throw no such field exception, and we have now name field available. So we can say name field, just you have to set one more thing, name field dot set accessibility equal to true. You have to say accessibility equal to true, and then you can access the value. So now I can say get value. And how we can get value from here? We can do string name value equal to name field dot get, and here you have to write the object name, right? So you have to first create here object. So I'll say person object. So we have to create one class object person equal to new person, and here we can pass the name. So I'll say, let's say Chandan, and then I'll say 30. What it is saying, a string, okay, so a string and integer. So this is our object we have created here. Name, that is person, and if you right now try to access sysout person dot, you can see we don't have person dot. Let's say I just wanted to use name, right? You will not be able to access this name because this name and age is private field. Name and age is private field, you can't access that. So question is, right now I want to access it. So how we will do? So the first thing is we can do here that we will use name field and then we'll pass here dot get person, and we have to cast it to a string format and add declaration. So instead of writing all, what you can do is you can just write exception and it will fix all this in throw. So now here we have passed person object and inside this name field. Now we have name value. Then what we will do, we'll try to print this name value. So I'll say original name and then let's say name value. So what is the value inside the name, right? Let's try to access that. So if I will run, you can see original name is Chandan. This is the exact value we have set here, person equal to this, and same thing we are able to get from here. Let me move it this side. So in using reflection we are able to get the private field also, right? So we have private field name and I want to access this name, right? Like this way. This is not accessible, right? So I'll say not accessible, right? So this name is not accessible, but here you can see if we have added here class name and we are saying set accessible true, that means now you can access any private field also. And then you can just pass here person name field dot get person, from this person object get the name field and print the value, right? So similarly you can modify the value as well. So if I want to modify, so let's say modify value, right? So how we will do? So we have this name field already available. We can say name field dot set, and then you can see we have object and then object value. You can use this one. So I'll say object is person and then name value, let's say I'll write Ram. So now actually value is changed here, right? So I'll say get modified value, right? So modified value, how we will get it? We can write here, let me just try using this one. Let me directly check if it's printing or not, and then we can try to, you can see it's accessible, right? Ram is accessible. So earlier it was Chandan, now we can say it's a Ram. So I'll just write here message modified name, right? So modified name we can check here. So this was original and then we modified it. If you want to invoke method, right, here in method we are saying hello my name is, and then we are setting this name variable. So if you want to call the method, right, so I'll say invoke method, right? So how we can invoke method? So if we want to invoke method, we have a way. We can say let's say sysout, and I'll say person dot get class dot get declared method, get declared method, and in this method we have to pass the method name. So method name is, I'll say hello. This is the method name we have to pass here. Say hello. Only one parameter we will pass. And right now this way we have called the method. Now we have to invoke. So I'll say invoke, and here you can pass the object. So object is person, and we don't need to pass anything. So this way it will invoke that particular class method. So it's saying null. Invoke person. Let me we have to use person class only. Person dot get class declared method say hello, and then we are saying dot invoke and person. Yes, this is the way we can call it. And right now say hello, my name is this. Okay, so let's do one thing. I will move this one outside and then we'll try to do. So here what we will do, we can use method, and I'll say method equal to this. So whenever we will use get declared method, it is returning method. We have stored it here, and then instead of printing I will say method dot invoke, and here I'll say person. You don't need to pass any argument, just say person. Since this is a method, we don't need to print it. Let's try to run now. Yes, you can see it's printing perfectly. We are able to invoke that. So this is saying hello, my name is Ram. So we just need to write person class dot get declared method, and then here we have method is say hello. We will get a reference of method, and then you can just invoke it. So this way you will be able to call directly the method. So now next thing that we can see is more on how we can invoke methods and inside a reflection. Okay, now next thing that we wanted to show you is how we can create object using reflections. So these ways that we have seen is just to access the class detail and then change the value of that. We can also see how we can create object using reflection. So reflection can also be used to create new instances of a class dynamically, right? So let's create that. So we have here person class, and for that we have created person class object here. So what I will do is, we can say get the constructor with parameters, right? So how we will do that? So we have to use person class dot, I'll say get constructor, right? So we can see we have constructor and it's saying type, so we have to use this one, the constructor get constructor and then class parameter. So now whenever we say get constructor, in above class we have name and then int age, so we have to pass the same way. So I'll say a string dot class, this is our first parameter, the second parameter is int. So let me check if we have int integer dot class. So I have given here these two fields, and then it will return object of constructor. So we can see we have constructor. So I'll just start writing constructor lang.reflect. So we will use from this constructor, and then we can mark its question mark equal to this, and just give here name. So I'll say constructor. So I have here this constructor, and then using this constructor we can try to create one object. So I'll say create object or new instance. And how we will do? So we can just write here constructor dot new instance, and in this new instance we can put the value. So I'll say, let's say Mohan, and then we'll pass 20. So now I have created here this instance, and then you can see this is object type. So we can use here object obj equal to this, right? So I'll say person object or instance. So now we have created this person instance, and let's try to invoke this method, right? So directly we can invoke say hello just to check whether it is printing the name or not. So what we can do, we can just copy this, right, and paste it here. We have person, so I'll just change it to person class dot get class declared method say hello, and then I'll say dot invoke, and in this invoke I have to pass this object, instance object. Let's remove extra argument. So here this way it should invoke it. Let's check output. Method not found, com.person string integer. Okay, it's saying integer not found, this one, because we have written, let me see if we have int. Yes, so instead of integer we should write here int. Let's try to run it again. Alright, still we have, so it's saying no such method class say hello. So no such method say hello. Okay, let's write in two different objects. So I'll say method m equal to this, and then I'll say m dot invoke instance, this instance. No such method declared. So it's saying line number 40. Okay, let's write here instead of person class we can use person, and let's try to run it. So yes, you can see we have to use this person class object, and then it will print us my name is Mohan. So basically these are the way where we can use reflection, right? So as you can see here, reflection in Java is extremely powerful and provide great flexibility for inspecting and modifying behavior of our code at runtime, right? However, with a great power comes with great responsibility. Reflection can impact performance, break encapsulation, and lead to security risk. So it's important to use it only when absolutely required. Reflection is widely used in framework like Spring, Hibernate, and even whenever we are performing testing, right? So testing framework like JUnit. I hope this tutorial has helped you to understand the basic of reflection and how you can use it in your own application. Thank you so much for watching, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe our channel. Thank you so much. See you in the next.